How are we doing, people? Hopefully, everybody had a good Christmas and New Year. I am absolutely freezing, about -6 at the minute, which is, I'm not built for this. So, I'm about to head down to Ultraflex, never been before, heard very, very good things. Gonna hit a not sure what we are hitting, but I will run you through the session. Training with Sam, an old friend, so that'll be good. Good catch up. Yeah, I'll run you through the session nonetheless. Hopefully, you get something from it, and I shall see you soon.
So starting off the workout with a seated lat pull down. I only recorded about 2 seconds of this. You'll have to excuse me. Second exercise, we went on to a machine shoulder press. This Nautilus machine, unbelievable machine, felt really, really good. One thing that I want to point out with this is me and Sam here, we're not rushing through the exercise. Okay, you'll see really we're pushing through the palms when we're pressing up at the top, and we're nice and slow and controlled 3 to 4 seconds on the way down. Really, so you want to get as much out of the movement at the top part of the movement, but also on the way down as well. You'll see Sam doing the same thing, pushing through the palms, and then nice and slow and controlled on the way down as well. Second exercise, we did the machine lateral raise. So again, with this one, very, very easy for your forearms to take over. So what I like to do is almost like use my hands as hooks. So grip the bar very, very loosely, go lighter than you would usually, and then just make sure you focus on just bringing them elbows up nice and slowly, and then bringing them back down to the starting point nice and slowly as well. You'll see Sam doing it exactly the same. Third exercise, or fourth, we did a seated cable fly. So again, with this one, massive emphasis on focusing on trying to touch your elbows together, not your hands. So naturally, it looks like you're always going to try and touch your hands, but focus on trying to touch your elbows, trying to almost push your bicep into your chest. If you focus on trying to meet your hands, your elbows will bend too much and it will cause too much bicep contraction. It's always going to happen that, but again, the aim is to try and minimize that bicep involvement as much as possible, so you can Foley, so you can solely overload obviously that chest. Next, we did a machine, obviously back row. Really like this. I've never been on a machine like this, which is very weird since I've been training for 10 years. And you can go really heavy on this. So you'll see here, same with Sam, really deep stretch on that lat. So slightly tilt to the left when obviously you pull it with your left arm, and then obviously same with the right. Again, it just allows you to get a little bit more range of motion. So you'll see when I'm trying to release the machine back to the starting position, my hips will tilt forward as well as my arm as well. Just allows me to get more of a range of motion. And then when I'm pulling back with that elbow, that back is still pretty much straight, because the straighter your back is, the more you can bring that elbow further past obviously your torso and get more back contraction. Then we moved on to arms. So this machine here, unbelievable machine, never done it before. It's almost like a behind the neck tricep extension. Again, nice and slow on the way down, pressing up with them palms. Again, nice and slow, getting it right down towards almost like ear level, and then pressing up towards the top. And then finished off arms with a seated preacher curl. We did do a tricep Smith close grip Smith machine as well, which I did not record, so make sure you add that one in there if you want to give this workout a try. But yeah, unbelievable gym, unbelievable session. Like, some of the equipment is absolutely unbelievable.
So, just wrapped up that session. I do not know how I'll look on this reverse camera because I cannot see myself. But I just wanted to mention something that I've made some Instagram content on recently. So, obviously, the start of the year, really. So today, second of January, right? And I did an Instagram post on when you're setting your goals for this year, right? You need to, in my opinion, anyway, you need to set the standard a little bit lower, right? So, why do I say that? Because the majority of people, as we know, I can't remember the statistics, but like the majority of people will sack off their New Year's resolutions, New Year goals, whatever it is, more than likely after the first month, latest probably Feb, March, right? So they set the standard so high, and a lot of the time they're out of reach, and you're almost like setting yourself up to fail before you even start, right? And that can put you in a negative mindset for the rest of the year. So it's like, right, why not set your bar a little bit lower? Yes, obviously it's great. We want to reach the highest standards. Yeah, fantastic. But what's the point if you know deep down that for the past 5 years, you've set these goals and you've not achieved however many of them, right? So set the bar lower, and I guarantee. So almost ask yourself, what would have had to happen by the end of 2026 for you to class this year as a success? I'm not even just talking about fitness with this. It can be anything, right? What would have had to happen by the end of this year, 2026, for this year to be a success, right? And I guarantee you, it will be a lot less than whatever you've written down on your notepad or on your notes or wherever it is, right? So take that thought, put it on a new piece of paper, should I say, and literally just make sure you write that down. And then it's like, right, how am I actually going to get there? So set the goal, but then it's like, right, actionable steps in terms of how I'm going to get there. Because the amount of people that I see, they do all this goal setting, right, this is where I want to be by the end of the year, but they've got no real plan of how to actually achieve it. Do you know what I mean? You need to, pick a plan, right? And again, an actual sustainable plan, an achievable one, right? Not one that's out of reach. Yeah, we want to set scarier goals, but again, you'll need some that, again, you can actually stick to, and it's actually going to be relatively simple to hit. And it's like, right, well then how am I actually going to actually get there? If I want to achieve this by the end of December 2026, what does that look like this month, next month? What does that look like in the next 90 days, 180 days? Break it down, because if we're not, then it's like, right, if you've not got any actions or you don't really know how you're going to hit that week on week, month by month, then obviously, I mean, you may do some miracle, but the likelihood of you hitting that it's not going to be there, right? It's the same with the gym. If you're trying to get in better shape and you're only doing 1 or 2 sessions per week right now, don't set your goal as 5 sessions a week. I see people go from 1 and they're trying to go in the gym every single day. It's like, yeah, great. If you can sustain that, you'll get more progress, but very likelihood of you actually achieving that and actually being consistent with that over the whole entire year is very, very slim, right? So I'm not saying, right, you've got to set really, really small goals. I'm not saying that, right? But I'm saying based off previous years of experience that obviously you know what you're like in terms of setting these goals. It's like, just set the bar lower, build that muscle of consistency that you need. And then as you start to tick these things off, you start to get more momentum, you start to tick these goals off, then you can add obviously bigger goals in there because you've got more evidence that you can stick to a plan, and that plan's going to get you X, Y, Z goal, whatever you write down, right? So again, I stress, I'm not telling you to write small goals at all. Like, write some goals that scare you. Do you know what I mean? 100%, I'd actually push that. But a lot of the time it's like, right, you need to simplify them. You need to make them easier to hit. And then it's like, right, you need to break them down in terms of actionable steps into how you're actually going to get there. Because if you don't, the likelihood of you doing it is very, very slim. Okay, so yeah, if by any means that obviously one of your goals is to get in better shape this year. I've just had a group coaching that's pretty much sold out, so that's finished now. So it starts today. But obviously, I'm opening spots for one-to-one going into next week. So if this message is at home or anything like that, you need some additional help, or whether it's even just advice, obviously either drop me a message on here or drop me a message on Instagram. It's just at Josh Hetman, so same name as the YouTube name. I'll run you through how I work. We can obviously have a quick call. You run me through sort of like where you want to get to, I guess some of the struggles, obviously where you're at currently, and then I'll run you through exactly step by step how I'd actually get you to that goal. And by all means, if obviously you don't want to work together, that's absolutely fine. If not, regardless, like, you'll get a lot of value from the call. Okay, so yeah, any question with that, like I said, let me know. If obviously you're interested, drop me a message, and I shall speak to you in the next one.